There is a specific sound that makes every automotive purist cringe. It is the high-pitched scream of an angle grinder slicing through the C-pillar of a six-figure luxury chassis. Most of us treat these cars like museum pieces, terrified of a single parking lot ding. But there is a specific subculture of owners who look at a pristine Rolls-Royce or a Range Rover and think that the car would be better if they could throw a bale of hay in the back. We are diving into the most absurd, expensive, and technically complex ute conversions on the planet, from British aristocracy hauling landscaping gear to Silicon Valley engineers hacking into high-voltage unibody frames. The real question is whether this is the ultimate flex or just elaborate financial suicide. Before we judge, you need to understand the engineering nightmare involved here. Unlike an old-school truck with a separate body and frame, modern luxury cars are unibody constructions. The roof is a structural component. When you cut it off, the car wants to fold in half like a cheap lawn chair. Keeping these things straight requires genius-level engineering and a massive budget. You are fighting physics the entire time, balancing the urge to create something unique against the reality that you might be ruining a perfectly good car. Let's start with the only category of these conversions that actually makes financial sense, provided you live in a specific kind of tax hellscape. This is the Startech Range Rover pickup. At first glance, it looks like a factory prototype that Land Rover was too afraid to build. But this vehicle exists for one primary reason: the European tax code. In countries like Denmark and the Netherlands, the registration tax on a luxury passenger vehicle can be over 150% of the car's value. However, if that vehicle is technically a commercial truck with a functional cargo bed, that tax bill virtually vanishes. Startech saw an opportunity to save owners nearly 40,000 euros by taking a saw to the roof. This is not a backyard hack job. Startech is a subsidiary of Brabus, the same maniacs who put V12 engines in G-Wagons. They use OEM quality carbon fiber and aluminum to completely reconstruct the rear end. When you remove the roof structure of a modern unibody SUV, you lose a massive amount of torsional rigidity. To fix this, they engineered a new bulkhead behind the rear seats and reinforced the chassis to keep the driving dynamics indistinguishable from the stock SUV. The reinforcement is thorough and subtle. They even managed to keep the panoramic sunroof, though it is significantly shortened. The visual balance is surprisingly good because Startech added about 80 centimeters to the rear overhang to make the bed usable. It integrates the original taillights and bumper so well that you might not realize it is custom until you see the tailgate drop. The bed itself is lined with plastic, not teak, because to qualify for the tax exemption, they legally have to prove it is capable of hauling dirty cargo. The choice of plastic is deliberate. The conversion itself costs around $110,000 on top of the donor car. That sounds insane until you do the math on the tax savings. You're essentially getting a one-of-one custom truck for the price of the stock SUV. It angers the purists who think a Range Rover belongs at the valet stand, but it is actually the most practical loophole on four wheels. If you enjoy seeing how wealthy enthusiasts outsmart the government with power tools, hit that subscribe button right now. We have plenty more automotive hacks coming up, but not every build is about saving money. Some are about spending it just to prove you can. While the Startech Range Rover makes a twisted kind of financial sense, the next tier of conversions abandons logic entirely for the sake of opulence. This brings us to Decadence, a Bentley Flying Spur pickup that redefines the concept of a work truck. Commissioned by a private owner and built by DC Customs in the United Kingdom, this vehicle was not designed to skirt tax laws. It was built because someone looked at a W12-powered luxury sedan capable of 200 miles per hour and decided it needed a cargo bed. The transformation took 18 months of metalwork, and the final bill for the conversion alone was rumored to be around £150,000 sterling. That is on top of the cost of the donor Bentley. The craftsmanship here is closer to superyacht construction than automotive repair. The bed is lined with genuine teak wood, the same material you find on the decks of multi-million-dollar vessels. It features custom cabinets for champagne flutes and storage for high-end luggage. You are not throwing bags of concrete or rusty tools into the back of this machine. The engineering challenge was immense because the Flying Spur is a heavy, complex car. When you slice the roof off a car that produces over 600 horsepower and weighs nearly 3 tons, the chassis wants to twist violently under acceleration. DC Customs had to weld significant tubular steel bracing into the remaining body structure to ensure the doors still opened and closed properly after a hard launch. The result is seamless, retaining the Bentley's graceful hip line while introducing a utility that no Bentley owner actually needs. Then we have the other side of the British coin, the Silver Shadow. Unlike the modern Bentley, which is a high-dollar coach build, the Silver Shadow has become the darling of a very specific, chaotic subculture. Because these cars suffer from catastrophic depreciation, you can pick up a tired 1970s example for less than the price of a used Honda Civic. This low entry cost has led to a surge in champagne utes, Silver Shadows hacked into pickups for promotional fleets, drift cars, or just for the irony of it. However, the Silver Shadow presents a unique nightmare for builders: the suspension. These cars use a high-pressure hydraulic self-leveling suspension system licensed from Citroën. It involves complex pumps, accumulators, and fluid lines running throughout the chassis. When you start cutting the rear end to install a bed, you are often slicing right through the plumbing that keeps the car level. Builders have to either painstakingly reroute this high-pressure system or rip it out entirely in favor of conventional coilovers, which ruins the legendary magic carpet ride. It is a brutal process that strips the car of its primary engineering marvel. This polarization leads to serious debates in the car community. So I want to know where you stand. Is taking an angle grinder to a classic Rolls-Royce a crime against heritage? Or is it a masterpiece of custom culture? Let me know in the comments below. Leaving the wood-paneled drawing rooms of Britain, we arrive at the modern frontier of fabrication, electric vehicles, and the DIY kit revolution. The headline act here is Truckla, the Tesla Model 3 pickup built by Simone Giertz. This project highlighted a terrifying new reality for customizers. When you cut into a vintage Rolls-Royce, the worst thing you hit is a hydraulic line or a fuel tank. When you cut into a Tesla, you are inches away from a high-voltage battery pack that runs the entire length of the floor pan. One slip with the saw does not just ruin the chassis. It could electrocute the builder or burn the shop down. The engineering hurdle with the Model 3 is that the rear glass and roof beam are critical for crash safety and rigidity. The Truckla team had to fabricate a completely new internal structure to bridge the gap between the B-pillars and the rear shock towers. Unlike a body-on-frame truck, where the cab and bed can flex independently, a unibody electric vehicle needs to remain stiff to protect the battery array. They used parts from a Ford F-150 and a GMC Canyon to create the bed, combining American steel with Silicon Valley tech. It proved that electric vehicles could be cool utility vehicles long before the Cybertruck actually hit the pavement. For those who do not have a full fabrication team and a YouTube budget, there is Smyth Performance. This company democratized the luxury ute conversion by designing bolt-on kits for unibody cars like the Audi A4 and the Dodge Charger. Instead of guessing where to cut, you get a template. You slice the rear roof and quarters off your sedan, then rivet and bond a new fiberglass bed structure onto the remaining metal. It bridges the gap between amateur hour and factory finish, provided you take your time with the panel gaps. The Smyth Charger Ute is particularly interesting because it turns a modern four-door muscle car into something resembling a modern El Camino. You get V8 power and the rear-wheel drive dynamics, plus a functional bed. However, the legality is a gray area. In many states, registering a unibody passenger car as a truck requires jumping through hoops with the DMVI to change the body class designation. You are essentially explaining to a bureaucrat why your Audi sedan is now a light-duty truck. It is a headache, but for the people building these things, the confusion on everyone else's face is the whole point. So, what is the final verdict on sawing the roofs off luxury cars? You are trading rear seats for a bed that barely fits a bicycle. It is a terrible trade on paper, yet I absolutely love it. From the tax-dodging brilliance of the Startech Range Rover to the teak-lined madness of the Bentley Decadence, these builds prove that automotive passion is rarely about logic. It is about the audacity to create something that should not exist. Are they ruined classics? Perhaps. But a stock Rolls-Royce is just traffic, and a Rolls-Royce Ute is a legend. Now I need you to weigh in. Which luxury car would you dare to chop up for a project? A Maybach? A Ferrari Puro Sangue? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this dive into high-end fabrication, hit like and subscribe for more automotive madness. And if you want to know why Chinese cars are underrated, watch this video next.